Starry-eyed rumblings.
I could ask the help kiosk to analyze and assess Yell's situation. I'm not entirely sure that it has that function, but I do know that, or I've heard some stories that some of these types of machines can do such things, especially in the big, more prosperous cities that I've never been to. But maybe one day, and maybe given Yuma's estate is a floating city in deep space, probably has some high tech, I'll make the suggestion to Yell. Yell, I don't know if you heard the elevator, but it gave me an idea. In your particular situation, if it's a medical emergency, maybe it is a good idea either to ask the help kiosk or go to the medical facility. Yell responds by trying to detach from me and almost stumbling over. I manage to catch her and whispering under her breath in a shaky voice, "We're almost there." We continue moving quickly through Residential Colony 1. They probably need to come with a better name than that. Residential Colony 1 sounds way too much like a military organization. Or a refugee or hostage camp. Probably want to change that. Something to maybe Res 1. Or Resi 1. Alas, I don't have much time to take in the scenery and decor of Residential Colony 1. Probably for the best, because I think I would be rather shocked by the decor if I was paying loads of attention to it, given that it's giving off jungle vibes. All the buildings and the wildlife. There's wildlife here. Well, not wildlife. I don't know, what do you call plant life? Plant life. Loads of plant life here that gives off, well, basically like we're walking through a jungle that has been adjusted to allow for humans to settle here comfortably whilst maintaining the feeling or the atmosphere of the jungle. I'm pretty sure we just passed a passage, a walkway I should say, that went from one tree to another, and within the trees there seemed to be some sort of hut, maybe a shop or a resting place of some sort, all with high railings of course, but still up in the trees. I do wonder if they have wildlife. I hope not. I think last I checked, jungle worlds tend to have things with claws, teeth, and venom. We make a few turns and finally we arrive in a long-ish weaving corridor. Can't really call it a corridor actually. There's just kind of cute actually. There's little huts that seem to be where people will live, that are dotted around in no particular order. It just seems like a village that sprouted up wherever anyone wanted to build a little hut. And I'm assuming that the huts aren't quite so little. Some of them seem 2 stories, some of them seem to be sprawling structures, and we begin to make our way towards one of them. Yell does detach from me successfully this time and starts staggering towards the door ahead of me. I just pick up the pace and try to walk beside her, trying to make sure she doesn't stumble over again. She bursts through the door. That's gotta hurt. And I manage to peer inside as I hold the door open, and it is a very empty room. There is a bed, very clean and very tidy. As I make it to scan the rest of the room, my attention is diverted by what Yell is doing. She's fumbling open a bag, or trying to at least, not very successfully. I step forward and ask, "Ma'am, would you like any assistance there, opening the bag or administering the medication?" She doesn't respond, although she becomes more frantic, trying to tear the bag open, and she's making this strange keening sound, which worries me more than the trembling and the sweating and the heavy breathing and inability to stand. I step forward, ready to offer my assistance a little bit more proactively, you could say, when she manages to rip the bag open and fumbles inside. She picks out a little pipette, of all things. Phew, super glad it's not an injection or a needle. That would have been a very dubious source of medication, I'd say, self-injecting. She shakes the little pipette with clear liquid inside, then twists off the cap and puts it towards her face. Maybe she's gonna squirt it in her mouth. Or her nostrils, maybe? Nope, it seems this is an eye drop of some sort. She is going to put it in an eye. She pulls down the lower lid of her eye, and with the other hand, still trembling awfully, raises that to above her eye. Attempts to steady her hand, I believe. Oh wait, this is where I should be helping. Not just staring. Ma'am, would you like me to administer the eye drop? Too late. She squeezes the pipette and out tumbles a few drops. She squeezes it too hard, it seems. The first drop splatters against her cheek, the other on her forehead, and the third into her eyeball. As it does, she closes her eye, lets out her breath in a relieved sigh, and begins to groan. Her body stops trembling. Something about this is making me very uncomfortable. The way she's groaning and her eyes are closed. Her body seems to be tensed up. Her mouth is hanging open, drool falling out of it. And then all of a sudden her body relaxes. And okay, the floor begins to get wet. I should really help. Ma'am, do you need any assistance? You seem to have relaxed a fair bit, and that seems to have caused your bladder to... Do you need any assistance, ma'am? I'm going to admit I'm a little out of my depth here, so just give me some instructions in the best way that I can assist you, and I'm happy to do it. She opens the eye that she didn't just put an eye drop into, and it looks like it's staring off into a vacant void. The eyelid flutters, almost as if it's struggling to stay open. I spot a hand mingling with the liquid pooling around her on the floor. Okay, no. I can see now that she was looking for something, and that something is the pipette that she dropped from her hand into the pooling liquid. I've got to do something now. Ma'am, I'm afraid the pipette, you may need to get a new one. In fact, you definitely need to get a new one. That has fallen into your too late. She picks up the pipette, pulls down the other eyelid, and one single drop of whatever substance that is in that pipette falls upon her eyeball.